Hello Commanders, Commander Plater here and welcome to today's live stream. We have something a little bit different today, something that I don't normally do. I try and avoid it, but I'm going to do it today anyway because I think this is going to be quite an interesting thing for us all to sit and watch at the same time. That's right, I'm doing a restream of Frontier's live stream where they're going to be showcasing and demoing the station Walkaround, and also they're going to be showing us, having an interview with one of the dev team, which will be definitely definitely worth listening to. I am also joined by three glorious guests today. Well, two glorious. One, he just turned up basically. But I've got Ascorbius with me, Turgeon, and the infamous Greatest as well. Hey guys.
just a stray guy who turned up without being asked.
Yeah.
Hello, new everyone.
He was on the doorstep shivering. We couldn't leave him out in the rain, could we?
So that had to happen, didn't it? Had to happen. Had to let him in. But yeah, don't forget as well, guys, if you're watching here, you should also open up the Twitch live stream because drops are enabled over there as well, and you can get yourself some passenger name packs for your ships for free. So you should 100% do that as well. Open that up, mute it, and listen here. We will be having, hopefully, their stuff up, and as soon as they are live, they're on starting soon at the moment, so we're kind of hands rubbing together.
Pro tip, don't mute it, because I think if you mute it, it doesn't actually count as watch time, so you want to have it at like minimum volume, but still, not completely muted.
Oh, right, there you go. Yeah, we just said that in chat as well. That's a fair point. Don't mute it, just turn the volume down very low, but a little bit on.
And make sure your account is linked.
Yeah, very well. You can do that after, so that's something that you don't have to worry about.
Oh, interesting. Didn't know that.
Yeah. So what we're doing is when FDev start, I will obviously be having their audio on. Now, what I will mention is that I have been pre-warned that some of the music in their station Walkaround could be copywritten. Is that the right term? Yeah, or have copyright implications. So I've got to be careful with that. So I'm going to be muting the audio just to be on the safe side, because the last thing I need is a slap on the wrist. So that would be pretty crap. So that's the thing there. But right, so Greatest, you are obviously back after having been away from Elite for quite a while, aren't you?
Indeed. I haven't touched the game in a very long time, but I'm very excited for Odyssey, because there's just so many new possibilities now that could open up with this, depending on how the gameplay actually works in detail, and that it did actually get me excited. Just been very busy year that last year, not just because of COVID, but because I've moved twice.
Hello
job
there.
busy, university busy, everything busy. But, there's got to be some time for gaming still.
That's fair. Hunter here is saying that you caught the citizen bug.
Well, I have played a little bit of Star Citizen, that is fair, and that game is coming along very nicely as well. But today, Odyssey talk.
Cool. Now, something that I think is worth us mentioning before we go further, or before FDev start. I'm keeping an eye on them. Is today we got given a wonderful image from Frontier regarding the alpha release schedule, which I think is worth talking about. Now, have you guys seen it?
I have.
Yeah.
I haven't. What is this image of which you speak?
Okay, well, hang on. What I'm going to do is bump myself down in the bottom corner and then do that. So, we had an image released. Basically, it's a release schedule. There's going to be four phases of the alpha. So we've got, first of all, we've got lifetime expansion pass owners and players that have purchased Elite Dangerous Deluxe will find the alpha as a new product in the launcher for direct download. Elite Dangerous Odyssey Alpha public test. So that's a thing. That'll be there. Then we also phases may be extended to gather more player data, and areas of features during the alpha are subject to change, and missions will be dependent on BGS state. So this is something that's worth remembering, is that the BGS in the alpha will probably dictate what's going to be available to us content-wise as well.
Which is very interesting if you consider that the first phase is in one system, so whatever's going on in there will dictate the whole experience for everyone.
Yeah, that is definitely it's an interesting thing, for sure. It's kind of an interesting choice on that, but I think it really does depend on phase 1, which I'm kind of in the way of. I'll turn the camera off so people can see it.
5 minutes for their live stream to start now.
Oh, cool. Well, we'll get through this quick then, haven't we? So, phase 1, first steps. A new commander issued for every participant in a single star system to maximise player interaction. The Wemlock Maverick Scavenger suit will be available for purchase, and access to Takada and kinematic weapon sets, not Manticore, which is the other one. Apex Interstellar is available for player travel, and a variety of activities available, including salvage and to collect delivery missions. And the focus is on core systems and networking, which is why we are all pushed into one place at one time. Also, there are no ships. 0 ships. We will not be having ships at all.
That makes sense.
Because they want us to test the foot stuff.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. I was wondering if they were going to limit it in some way, because it also helps with the focus of any bug reports that we put in. So, if you had the entire galaxy with every ship available, then the scope of tickets could be amazingly intense.
It's very reminiscent of the first alpha we had beta we had for Elite, that had the bubble and then the capsule and then expanded into the 50 odd systems that we had and then the launch. So it's their way.
It's a sensible way.
Yeah, 100%. Phase 2, they open up 20 light years of space for travel, and I'm assuming that's going to be a cube of 20 light years, because that's totally the way it's measured.
The new bubble, yes.
Yeah, a new micro bubbles. And players can now purchase ships. The Manticore Dominator combat suit is available for purchase. They haven't released an image for that one yet on Twitter, because they've been releasing images all week from different things, and we haven't seen all of them yet.
Probably in the next few days.
Yeah.
Like that.
Faction conflicts will be enabled. Frontline solutions will be available. And missions for neighbouring systems available, including trading and settlements and POIs. So that should be quite interesting. Good varieties. That's going to be all combat based, and phase 2 is titled Combat. Under weapons and balancing is the focus. Now phase 3 is exploration, and increases the playable bubble to 50 light years. And that's going to include unexplored planets, allowing for first footfall experience. Which, as we know, the experience is you land on the planet and then you select a menu and you get out your ship and you're there. I'm a bit disappointed with that. I can't lie. I am. I think it's a shame. It's a bit of a miss, as far as I'm concerned. Now the Supertech Artemis Explorer suit will be available for purchase, and players will be able to analyse organics with the genetic sampler tool. So the focus is first footfall and exobiology mechanics. Now, that's going to be the much-awaited exploration gameplay that people have been waiting for, because no one's seen it yet.
And booping space plants, can't wait.
Yeah.
And phase 4, the final phase, well, maybe the final phase, we don't know for certain, is compatibility. So it's going to have a snapshot of players' commanders added to the alpha. Carriers, ships, fighters, and SRVs can all be used. So that's going to be our full-on testing everything out. That's going to be the phase where we're going to be able to essentially dick around and go through my list of 23 things that I need to test out that we came up with on my last stream. And it's pretty messy.
Now, it says the duration will be varied or can be varied, but what do you guys expect the duration of these phases to be? 1 week each? Longer? Shorter?
Oh, probably longer.
I think
if we've got 6 weeks, then it'll be 2 week sprints mostly, and it'll probably go to 8 weeks.
I'm thinking you're looking at about a week for each one, with possible extension on the final phase. Because it depends on how many people take part and how many bug reports are submitted, because that's going to be really important.
Yeah, a week intended, I reckon.
Have they said whether
actually
it's going to be, for phase 1, it's going to be open only, or private groups are going to be a thing?
They haven't listed anything to do with that. Although I am probably going to be an open, so that's going to be my plan.
Hello there.
Because there's no guns in the first section, so you might as well be... Oh, there is. Well, the chances of bumping into someone on the planet is going to be pretty low. So...
Well, it's all testing, even if you're shooting each other in the face, isn't it? It's all testing.
Alright, the stream's starting now.
Cool, right. Well, we've got it up.
we go.
And I'm just going to be, commenting as things happen. Let's get the volume going.
To our stream. Now, I'm Arthur, as you know, and I'm joined by Bruce. So we're going to keep the intro relatively short. You may have noticed some stuttering. Now, I have just set up on a new PC, so I'm not sure what's causing the stutter, chat, so please bear with me as we try and fix this on the fly. Bruce is doing some furious Googling, and whilst he's doing that, I'm going to go into what we're going to do on the show. So, obviously, we've got Starport Tour coming up very, very shortly, but there's also some Twitch drops on the stream. So, Bruce, if you can multitask, can you tell everyone about the Twitch drops whilst you Google?
Yeah, absolutely. So, while the elves behind the scenes help us out with that... Twitch drops are back. So as we promised, we've got some things for you which aren't purple. Instead, we're going to be offering some violet and indigo and lilac paint packs for you guys. Just kidding. That's still purple. No, what we're doing is we're giving away some nameplates instead for the next couple of streams. Today, it's going to be the passenger nameplates. So if you've been watching for half an hour of the stream, you'll be given that 30 minutes in. Basically that simple. So yeah, if you're on YouTube and you haven't got that drop, or you're interested in that drop, switch over to Twitch.
Cool. I'm seeing some messages in chat saying the intro was laggy, but this is perfect. So hopefully that won't affect what we're about to show you in a second. If it does, it will be up on YouTube almost immediately thereafter. So if it does lag a little bit on stream, I do apologise. Not sure why it's doing that, but we haven't seen it yet. Maybe it will. After we show you the starport, we are joined by the wonderful Samantha Marsh, who's going to talk through what we've seen, having a bit of discussion about starports in general, and maybe some extra bits and bobs. And then we're going to talk about you may or may not have seen the alpha rollout for today, and some other news, and then we'll end the stream. So I guess that's intro's done. Well, the introduction done. Bruce, anything you want to add before I flick on to what I guess people were waiting to see?
No, should be all right. Yeah, that's about the size of it. Let's take a look.
Okay. All right. Enjoy, everyone.
And muting, guys, just remember, because of our potential. See, now, I think this looks really cool. Not very good quality stream, unfortunately.
I always prefer if the camera movement is more natural, like somebody's actually controlling it with the controller.
Well, they're using, by looks things, they're using a controller because they've had an X pop up when they walk past one of those NPCs.
Very smooth then, respect.
And they're titled as Mission Givers as well.
Is that Arthur?
It does look like Arthur, doesn't it?
Is that coincidental?
But also these missions look interesting.
That's good voice. Good voice he's got there.
I think seeing new mission types is always good.
No safety cabinet for the weapons. That's questionable.
I noticed that the shelves look quite bare in places.
Well, there's crates that are obviously still unpacking.
Oh, like that a target there on the left. Mess about with guns.
I wonder if they'll let us do that. Oh, a bit glitchy.
I like that.
That is awesome.
This is one hell of a view, isn't it?
Oh, please tell me we can actually see the live ships coming in.
You can.
It's not just,
No, you can.
Okay, that's fantastic.
And apparently, it's going to work both ways.
Yeah, I'm sure all of us must be thinking a little bit of Star Citizen at this point, but when you step out into there and for the first time see the station that we've known for years over your head, that's going to be a tingle moment, isn't it?
For sure. But this one, another mission type, theft.
Okay.
Titanium plating. That's new.
Obtain.
Oh, negotiation. That's interesting.
Oh.
Also, mercenary rank as well. That looks to be new.
Oh, with a chance, so you can have a go, and he'll say, nah, but you might get it anyway.
It said critical
Like
failure there as well, I think. So, what does that mean? If you fail critically to negotiate?
He might punch you in the face. I don't know.
This is the bartender. Trade assets and goods.
Ooh. He's got some glue there.
Graphene.
Bartender. Oh, hang on a minute. Graphene.
Not sure why the bartender would trade graphene with you, but alright.
Because he's a bit dodgy, right?
He's obviously dodge.
He's sort of looking around, see if anyone's looking.
I like their moon boots. You've seen all the NPC moon boots.
Yeah, it's great. It's probably a covert sort of Pilots Federation thing, you know? He's just a barman for everybody else, but for commanders, it's like, I'll buy your stuff, mate.
That's a really cool looking thing.
Okay, so that's where we'll buy our ships in Phase 2.
This is a nice looking menu.
Yeah, I like this.
So I guess these will correspond with the offerings that the station has in the ship menu, right?
Yeah.
Should probably have the same offerings in the on foot menu.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this looks nice.
This needs to be
also
everywhere.
Something we should test, by the way.
Like,
yeah, this needs to replace
this menu.
the current system as well.
It may very well replace the whole menu. I mean, it's there.
I mean, how much time are you going to spend just sitting there looking at those holograms?
Did you see what it said there? It said load new ship commander. Yes, no. Just like the original Elite. On the holographic display. Nice.
Awesome. There's the old menu. We know.
Straight to terminal. Cool.
So this is in the Ovid system. Is that going to be the system we get access to?
Bradfield Orbital.
Anybody's guess.
Please tell me this is generating missions based on the type of thing you want to do.
Well, it's got it listed by type, hasn't it, in there? So,
Yeah.
whether it be
If it's
combat,
generating
salvage.
type, then that's going to be much better. If you want to do combat missions, do combat. Choose that. If you want to do trade, choose trade. If you want to do salvage, choose salvage. That's brilliant.
I had a lot of missions available there as well.
Promising.
Lift animation, secret loading screen. That was fun.
No, the lift music. Lift music.
That's why I'm muted.
It's lift music. It's elevator music for sure.
It's a good idea though. I gotta appreciate there's little bits where they've put it in there and it's like, yeah, it's smart. That belongs in there.
Hey, look at this. We've been looking at this door for 4 years.
It's
and not
finally
able to
open.
get in. And now it's open. 5 years.
Dolphins are small.
Oh,
look at this.
Dolphins are small. Yeah. Well,
I'm not. Oh, I don't like it.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I wish there was like an entry ramp or a door or some sort.
To have an elevator comes down and then you stand on that and it goes up and then fades out like the SRV. That wouldn't kill him.
But we do remember how many times we've broken our legs getting in and out of ships in Star Citizen.
Yeah, but I've never blown up an SRV getting into a ship that wasn't realistically, as an error.
They're going to get some slack for that, unfortunately.
Inevitable. They know it.
I mean, to be fair, they probably didn't have it in mind with the ship designs from the very get-go, but on some ships, like I think the Cutter, for example, you actually have that ramp on the front landing gear, that entry steps of sorts, so...
Well, that's cool.
Wow. There we go, Bruce. That's quite something. So I'm not going to talk too much about this. I think it's time we should call in our guest. Don't you,
going
Bruce?
straight into the guest as well.
Absolutely.
So
There's a lot to unpack, a lot to talk about. We've seen chat is flying at the minute. There's a lot of people in chat. So without further ado,
I'll obviously have the volume up for that.
hello, Samantha. Can you hear us?
Hiya, I can indeed.
Excellent. That means I haven't broken too much today. Everybody, this is Samantha Marsh. Samantha, do you want to tell everyone who you are? Well, I've done that already. I've kind of ruined it. But who you are and what you do, and then what your job is exactly.
Yeah, so I'm an assistant producer on Odyssey. It's a really difficult role to describe. It's one of those things that people ask you, and it's just difficult because you do so many different things. It's quite reactive. I just kind of help to keep the project on track, and I like to see it as a kind of, it's my job to make sure that everyone can do their work without any obstacles or issues. It's kind of all about making sure that people can focus on what they need to do. So and that can be all sorts of different kind of obstacles, from just clearing up some communication stuff to scheduling stuff and whatever needs to get done.
Being organised is an incredibly tough job. One I fail at on a regular basis. Sam, is it okay if I call you Sam, by the way, if you want to go on? Yep. It's a very tough job to do. I can imagine the current global situation has made that job a little bit harder. So thank you in advance. I will ask you how hard it's made it, but thank you in advance for doing what you do, because I can't imagine it's very easy at the moment.
It's certainly added some obstacles, but do you know what? I think it's been really great to see everyone pull together and kind of get over all of the things and issues that have risen as a result. I think keeping people safe and making sure that we can continue to do what we do with the help of all these amazing people is great. So.
Yeah, no, and I think when we spoke yesterday, you said, and rightly so, shout out to all the infrastructure team behind us that send out all the kit and stuff to our homes to make sure we can do this stuff, and hence the reason I nearly broke the stream already today using all the new kit, because they've given me all new stuff and I'm busy trying to break it as Bruce is sitting there very patiently watching everything to make sure that Grandad doesn't break it. So we have just seen the interior of a starport, Sam. Now we got to look at it yesterday because we're lucky, but it looks great, right? What they've done is nothing short of phenomenal with Elite Dangerous, and I think the first thing to say that for me, and I'm right in saying this, Sam, that's a live area, right? If you look out the window, you'll be able to see your friends landing, right? So you'll be able to see them coming in and vice versa and all that sort of stuff. So
there you go, great.
Yeah,
exciting,
so
right?
there's more pressure now. If you get caught on the letterbox, then there's going to be some people seeing it happen.
Yeah, I mean, you could showboat, I guess, but it's anyone that's played Elite for a little while knows you shouldn't really hang around in the interiors unless you want to become part of a sort of a permanent fixture on one of the walls. Okay, so I guess what I'm going to do, Sam, is ask you a few questions about starports in general. I'll probably go off piste a little bit because that's what I tend to do. I ramble, but feel free to stop me, and anything that I don't ask you think's really cool, just chuck it in. I know chat will be really keen for any extra information that I don't ask. So whenever you want to interject, mate, please do. So starports, I guess the first thing that struck me when I saw the sort of the version that we've just viewed, and again, chat, just to be clear on it, that is still pre-alpha footage. Yes, it's getting nearer and nearer completion, but there are still tweaks, and I'm sure that Eagle Eyed will spot some stuff in there. It wasn't quite right, but the team is still really busy working on it. But what struck me was, first off, was the atmosphere, Sam, about how they've gone about sort of making this feel like a heavily traversed and populated space.
Yeah, it's there's been a lot of work to kind of make sure that you get this real experience. As you said, atmosphere is a really good way of describing it. Like even the shop areas have their own ambience, and I know that the audio team as well have worked hard on creating different atmospheres and musics for all the different area as well. And there's the conversation system that's dynamic, so you'll hear people just kind of talking to each other as you go past, which really adds to that sense of
and that's AI conversation,
live.
right? That's just AI talking to AI.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can meet up with your friends there as well, and get your missions and head out together. But I think it's also down to some of the detailing as well. I know that the environment art team have worked really hard on adding a part of like dirt and scratches to everything, and it's just like a really nice small detail that's adds so much. Like it really feels like a space that's got a story, and it's got lots of people visiting, and it's hustling and bustling, and it's, you know, the place to be. And I think it just adds a real dimension to it as well, because if you think about it, it's kind of these space stations and ports are all epicenters of people coming together, and that's kind of exactly how they feel. So
I think when I said to you, I said it was that sort of that George Lucas version of it's a lived-in universe. So when you go to these places, they feel like it's not just been made neat and clean for you there and then. And again, it is the ambience of it. Shout out again to the astounding audio team, Frontier, for the work there, not just in the conversations, but just the background noises, the clings, the clanks, the stuff, the really minuscule stuff that all add up to make a really cool environment.
I've been told that there's over 800 music tracks for the bar.
Oh wow,
800.
I mean, I do like the bar. I mean,
we're going to spend a fair amount of time there then.
I guess we should probably chat about like this is one starport, right? So this is, and when we look at layouts and stuff and the sort of stuff you can find at starports, they are inherently similar in terms of what we've been trying to do. So you'll have there'll always be a pilot's lounge, or if you're British, the pub. There's always stuff like into Astra and supplies, etc. But they will feel inherently different depending on the type of port you're in and where that's located, etc., etc. So they will have an element of familiarity, but they will be inherently different.
Absolutely, and the team's been working really hard to get that variety into the different concourses as well. So you've got some kind of different setups amongst the station, the ports, and some of the engineer bases actually have concourses as well. And the kind of layout of them is, as you say, similar enough that you can identify where you need to go from the off to get what you need done. Like, if I go to my local supermarket and they've changed where everything is, I hate it. I'm absolutely raging because I don't know where I'm going. So
does that mean we can meet the engineers
we don't have to worry
in
about
person?
that here. But there's also been a lot of...
I don't know is the answer to that, because unless they're in the bar.
Work on the different station types as well. So I know that we've got the high-tech stations, we've got agricultural, we've got loads of different types of stations, and they'll all have their own colour schemes and kind of flavour as well. Yeah. The lighting, some of it has litter on the floor, some of it will have a focus on kind of plants and kind of... It's got all these different touches that mean that your kind of home station that you choose will have its own feel and its own flavour. So
I'm, and this isn't the flex, and I know I do it, but I am very lucky to have a sort of an option to run around in different versions of the build, and I have visited a few different ones in different states of sort of where they are in development, and it's incredible. Like, I went to a planet port, and yes, it was similar, but it was vastly different. Like, it looked entirely different to what we just saw there. The different views you see at the different ports, depending where you are on stations, it generally is incredible. And like walking around and finding NPCs just stood and having a chat, or you go around a corner and there might be a fan in the background and lighting, and it's really cool. And it's really nice to see how it's been thought out with the dev team, in terms of it is a living, breathing space, but also inherently it's there for gameplay, and it's to make that gameplay as efficient as possible, that loop, so players are not sort of wandering around for hours trying to get to where you need to get to. And yes, in real life you might want to do that, but as a video game you probably aren't going to want to spend 15 to 20 minutes traversing around the station to get to one shop to another shop and then back to your shop again.
Agreed.
But it's testament to the team and how they've designed that, and how that sort of has been a core part of the entire development of Odyssey, to make it we want to explore and do these things. We want you to do it in the most efficient way possible as a gamer.
I think that's it, and I think that's actually a really good point, because we've got the small details that if you want to walk around and look and kind of take everything in, you absolutely can do that. If you want to just watch the barrel and watch people fly in, you can do that.
Yeah.
If you want to just dash in, get what you need and dash out, you can do that as well.
Yeah.
I think that it's kind of that ability to choose what you want and what you need depending on the time, and a variety of all of them. And it's like with the missions, you've got mission givers in the spaces, which you will have seen in the video, but also you can go to a terminal and get a mission kind of the more conventional way that you'd expect. And they're kind of quick, and you can just grab what you need and you can go again if you want to, or you can spend some time
Can we talk about negotiating already?
to the mission giver and getting some of that face-to-face contact. And
so I guess because we're talking about mission givers, and maybe I'm
He's going to do it.
Sam,
They're going to do it.
Sequence, and you're probably thinking this is not how you discussed it the other day, Arthur. But I like to chat and ramble. But so there are mission givers, obviously, and no chat. That was not a character model based on me. I clearly had a full beard.
I love him.
But so what's the difference? So I noticed the conversation tree there, and obviously we can.
Oh, you did hear me. Whoops.
Trying to haggle for more stuff, right? Based on your rep, is that correct?
Yeah, so you can haggle for what reward you want. You might be able to get a few more credits. You might be able to get a bit more influence, but it is based on your influence as well, and the BGS. So if you've got quite a good influence with that faction, there is a possibility that you'll be able to haggle and get more success. If you don't manage to negotiate, then there is a chance that you'll lose the mission and you won't be able to do it. So, but to be honest, like, I'm one of those people. The mission givers, it's just nice to have this kind of human element of it for me. Like I was walking through one of the concourses the other day, and I had one of the mission givers go, "Hey, help me!" And I'm a kind of sucker that I got to do that. I've got to turn around and help this person. So it's just nice to be able to kind of approach it in a different way and have that kind of side of it.
It does make it a lot more real when you've got sort of face-to-face time with characters. I like the haggling aspect. Anyone that knows me, my motto when I used to play games like XCOM was always all in. So I'd always, even if there was low chance, I'd be like, all in. I want all the money. I want 1 billion credits for this mission. I will probably never get a mission in Odyssey because I will always be asking for the wrong stuff. But it's really nice to see them and the variety of them and the characters. And again, the lip syncing and the audio team and all that stuff is sort of second to none. I really do. I can't stress that enough. So I guess the thing about the ports or the starports we're talking about is some of the locations. So we'll talk through a few of them. A few we don't actually see, sadly. Now, chat, just to be clear on this, it's not because there's anything wrong with them or we didn't want to show them. It's simply because the brief we gave when capturing was we wanted to go in, have a quick look around, grab a starship and leave. We didn't specify go to every single area, so that's my fault, chat, and you can blame me entirely for that. So we will talk about some of the areas you don't necessarily
Hashtag blame off.
And you will be angry with me, chat, because one of the areas is really cool interior. But we'll start with what you can see. So let's go with that. So let's go with Pioneer Supplies, Sam, and tell us about what that place is there for and what you can do in Pioneer Supplies.
Pioneer Supplies is the shop for your gear. So you can buy your weapons, your suits, your tools, whatever you want to purchase to kind of follow your journey. So if you want to go all out on the combat, so you can get all the weapons you need, all the tanky suits if you want. But then if you want to kind of go on the more scavenger side, you can kind of get more of the tools that would really help with that path. So it's a really good destination to get whatever you need, gear up and get going.
And can you upgrade your weapons and suits there as well?
You can, yeah. So you can gather enough supplies and materials, and you'll be able to upgrade your weapons and suits, and you'll also be able to add mods as well if you go to an engineer, and that uses kind of similar materials as well. What's really exciting about Pioneer Supplies as well is that they do sometimes have premium stock. So there is the possibility that there is a pre-upgraded weapon or a weapon that has an engineered mod already on it that you can purchase.
I noticed this in one of the builds I was playing. I was going to ask you about this. Please do tell me more.
Yeah, so this, depending on what mod or upgrade it is, can actually also depend on the BGS. So it's possible if you're in a more high-tech station that you could potentially have a mod or an upgrade that's more likely to be found in a high-tech area. So, but the thing is, this changes every week as well. So you've got to, if you see a good weapon or suit or tool, you grab
Get
it.
it.
Grab
Go
the
get
good
it.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It was
And
just for
I
money
think
as well. That'd be
it's
good.
safe to say that the better the upgrade or the mod on the weapon, then the rarer it is. So if you see a golden one, then you gotta grab it.
Snap
But
it
at
up.
the same time, yeah, snap it up. And also, you also have the option to kind of upgrade as you want as well. So you can purchase your weapon at the kind of basic level and upgrade and mod to what you want
Gold
it to be
weapons
as well.
used to be.
But if you don't want to do that, you can also check for premium stock as well. So
And-
again, it's about choice.
Yeah, and I'm right in saying like the suits and stuff are very much sort of the ships of Odyssey, right? Because that's what you're wearing, and they're not always available all the time in every station. Is that right? Or some things will be available some places, etc., etc.
Yeah, so it's a bit like exactly as you say, ships in the game. They're not all ships are available at every single station. So yeah, I think that it's good to have that variety, and you can just kind of find them as you go, really. So you can make sure you visit lots of stations and get all the different gear you need.
Do you know what? That's the point. Do you know what? I said this yesterday, and you just jogged my memory. There's the one thing about Odyssey. I mean, amongst everything else that you're all going to get to play very soon. But normally in Elite, and I don't know how you find this, Bruce, but you land, unload your passengers, unload your commodities, you cash in your bounties, and you take off and you go. And the station very much is just like you're there for a shortest time possible. I now want to get out. I will want to get out, and I will want to walk around all of these different ports. So
Yeah.
that for me, I hadn't even thought about it until we were talking about all the different areas inside. What about yourself, Bruce?
Yeah, so it's definitely going to change the way players interact with each other because it gives them a place to do it physically. You know,
I think
you'll
that's one of the
stop at the
biggest
station and see
factors,
who's around
actually.
and bump into them, and maybe you'll meet someone new that you want to go on a mission with, or whatever the case. Especially in that area where you mentioned earlier that you can see the ships flying in and all of that. It's going to be super, super atmospheric. So players have that to look forward to now as well.
And I like the idea of sort of all chatting, and then, I mean, I would suggest getting your missions first, then buying your weapons, rather than the other way around.
Right.
But I mean, that's the sort of thing we would do. We'd arm up with bazookas and then just turn up to be like, can you go and turn on the power station? And we'd be like, oh, but we've bought a load of rockets. What can we do?
Nah, have weapons anyway.
Yeah, do a stealthy covert thing,
Yeah.
and then you've got.
What weapons you bought for the
just
stealth mission, Arth? The heavy machine gun and the super rocket launcher. What about you, Bruce? I brought the So cool. So that was Pioneer Supplies. I guess the next place, which is going to be my favourite place, just because it's the bar, the Pilot's Lounge. So tell me a bit about the Pilot's Lounge.
Pirates
Sam, and
Lounge?
what the
Confirmed?
purpose of that is in-
I was just gonna say that. I heard Pirate Lounge as well.
So the bartenders I like to consider the person
Yar.
of shady trade. The bartender's kind of the go-to place for selling goods, assets, data, anything you kind of come across. But the bartender doesn't care where they've come from, so they could be stolen, they could be scavenged. So
Nice guy.
Yeah, he just wants the
Every
the goods.
bartender
that's
in
all.
the galaxy is
So,
now
you
an
can't really
incorporation
blame
of
him, really.
Jax.
And I noticed there was a barter system and stuff going on with
Jax
him.
better
So
be a
can you
colonial.
talk much about that?
Oh, barter
Yeah,
system.
so you can trade with the bartender as well, but you can trade assets for assets. You can't actually buy from the bartender though.
Oh, okay.
He buys from you, so he's the one with the control here.
Okay.
But yeah, so you can get the materials that he will purchase, the ones that you can use for upgrades as well, and for mods, and also if you just want to sell them as well, then he will.
So he's going to be very useful contact to have when you're looking to engineer suits, weapons, etc., to get the materials that you might need to then go off and get that upgrade that you desperately want. But you're going to have to give him something he wants, I would assume.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you'll need to trade kind of assets or data for assets or data or whatever. So yeah, it's definitely a really interesting kind of.
Very, very cool. So he's
Yeah.
not just there mixing martinis; he's doing something else.
Logically
Like,
active
yes.
version of the
He or
materials
she.
trade.
I'm fairly certain that'd be different in every
Mm.
port.
See
Yeah,
what's under the bar.
So, one of the things we didn't see, and I know it's close to your heart, Sam. So again, I'm really sorry that I didn't stipulate doing this. But shall we talk about Vista? Now I call it genomics.
I feel like it's genomics, but I feel like it's maybe more accurate to say genomics because genome. But
That's where I was at. But then you help make the game, so I'm going to see that you're probably correct. I'll keep saying it wrong, but tell us about this area and what it's there for.
Yeah, Vista Genomics is your kind of biologist, I guess, kind of vendor. So the xenobiologist, or the person who will be in Vista Genomics, will purchase data from you that you've found during your times exploring. So if you explore, you'll come across some organics, and some other exciting things that you can sample and get the data for. And once you've got that data, you sample enough of them, you'll then get this form of data that you can sell to the Vista Genomics vendor. So it's kind of similar to Universal Cartographics in that you can explore, get the data, and sell it at stations. Yep. In this sense, you can directly sample the organic life forms and then sell that data as well to increase your new rank.
Yes, the Exobiology rank, and it's up to elite and beyond with the ranking systems, and there'll be more on that in the future. Now, you knew when we were talking about this, you did mention some other bits.
There's
about,
more ranks,
sort of,
like prestige ranks, maybe.
Exobiology and organics. Do you want to tell us a few of the things that you told me about organics that aren't strictly to do with starports, just organics in general? Because I thought it was really interesting. I'm sure chat would like to know. So.
Yeah, so there's a really good range of new organics with Odyssey, and when you find them in different kind of levels of maturity as well. And I think that's really exciting that you'll see them with this variety. You get this real sense that they're kind of growing and living, and that's really fun. And also the Planet Art team have worked really hard on reworking the geologicals and organics from Horizons, so they've got a lovely fresh new look, which is really exciting as well.
I mean, I find brain trees unnerving already, so I can't wait to see what they look like. Upgraded brain trees sound terrifying.
Unnerving but spectacular.
Yes, but one thing to note, and again, chat, I am sorry, you will see it very soon. But the room is really cool as well. Like when you go in there, there's like these holographic displays on the wall, and they change, and there's all this cool lighting. And again, like the rest of the station that you saw there, it's an exceptionally well designed room. So I really enjoyed that. And sorry, chat, it is my fault. Blame Bruce. It was all Bruce's fault.
I've got some fun tidbits actually.
Oh yes.
Yes. There's lots of really cool adverts, but also sometimes the adverts can appear on all the screens like at the same time because you can't escape capitalism in space. That's just fact. So, which is really cool. Yeah, and also I think just one thing to mention as well is I think the lighting team have done a really great job in the space as well to kind of bring it to life and 100%. Draw attention. And I think that sometimes it's like when we were saying with the dirt and scratches and the kind of what feels like small details that add a lot. I know that there's been kind of work on subtle lighting that can draw your attention to sort of vendors that really kind of highlights them, and that's kind of subtle so that you can navigate and find what you need to find. But it's just such a small detail, but makes such a really big difference. It's cool.
You're absolutely right. It's that like environmental storytelling that just draws that player's eye to where they want to be. It's very, very clever stuff. And again, like what I was saying this to Bruce earlier today, like we saw very, very early builds of sort of starports, planet ports, etc. And to see where they are now, like to look at them now, and they're not even finished now, and you think this could be another game. But then when you first saw them, you were like, wow, this is amazing. This looks incredible. And then you're like, it doesn't get better than this. And then the lighting team come in, and the FX team come in, and the sound team come in. You're like, oh, it can't get any better than this. And then they keep getting better. So it's really nice to see.
It's really been evolving. Every time I jump back into the game to look, it's just evolved again, and it's just amazing. Yeah, it's really amazing. It's fantastic to watch it kind of grow into what it is at the minute.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and again, for we say it all the time, and yes, we do. They're all part of our team, but the work they do, the development team, well, everyone at Frontier really does an incredible job, especially at the moment to get this monumental update to where it is right now, and to be. To an existing live game, it still boggles my mind. I still can't get my head around it. So moving on from Vista Genomics, which I failed to show you, we have then Into Astra, which is a very cool shop here, even if it was showing the Further Lance, which I wasn't happy about, wasn't Chieftain. But Can you tell us about what this?
Come on.
no, the cutter, Sam, the chieftain. So tell us a little bit about Inter Astra.
Inter Astra is, well, it's something that everyone's kind of familiar with in the simple kind of buy your ship and kind of change up your modules and store or transfer ships. But as you could see, it's got a really lovely new sleek look, which I think it makes such a huge difference, both in terms of usability and it just, yeah, it's a really new, fresh interface. The UI team's done a lovely job with that, and there's been a lot of work kind of behind the scenes to get that together from loads of different teams. So yeah, it's really nice to see. But it's a really nice kind of fresh new take on getting yourself in a brand new cutter. Or clipper.
You're saying chieftain wrong, Sam. No, it's a lovely room. It looks really cool. I love the holographic display. There's some nice little Easter eggs in there as well, some callbacks, which is really sweet. I think the UI stuff is a real big thing. And just to give you an idea of how hard the dev team work, we're gonna get some of the guys on, not next week but the week after, talk about the UI changes, because it isn't just in stations and this. There is a substantial amount of UI changes going in for Odyssey, some quality of life stuff, which I think you'll all be really pleased to see. But they thought nothing of it. They were just busy working, and it's unbelievable the amount of stuff they're cramming in to Odyssey. It really is. And some of it you see, the big stuff like we're showing you today, and like you're walking, the starports look amazing, but it's all the way down to like system stuff and fine tuning and tweaking stuff. So yeah, there'll be more on that to follow. So we've covered off. So there's a couple more places we don't go to. They're not necessarily rooms, but they are sort of kiosks and vendors. So we do the easy one. So the easy one, I guess, is Apex Interstellar. Now there is there's a future gaming show that's went out tonight, I think, as well. So there's some information on Apex Interstellar. Some links will be on our social somewhere in Twitterverse, but you'll be able to find them. But what is Apex Interstellar, Sam, in a nutshell?
Shuttle service, in a nutshell. It's a really cool new vendor area that you can literally walk up to them, book a ship to anywhere you want to go that has a drop-off point, and you'll be taken there. So you can go down into the hangar, and there'll be a taxi there waiting for you to hop into and to go to where you need to go. It's really fun because it means that players can also kind of play the game without having a ship.
Yeah, that's super important. Super important. I think the other thing about Odyssey, and I think it's fair to say that chat will understand this, and chat will be on board with this. Elite can be a bit of a daunting task to get into. Like, there's a lot to learn. You're popped into your side E, and you're told, right, off you go. There's the galaxy. Get on with it. And I think it can be a bit of a steep learning curve. I think it's fair. And we understand that. But the Elite itself, once it gets you, it's got you, and it's very hard to shake the love for Elite once you have it. And I think
it took me an hour to go through the letterbox the first time.
At least you made it through,
joke.
Sam. Anyone's watched me fly will know that's not always the case. But I think it's really important that what Odyssey will bring and Apex will allow is that players can start the game maybe in a more familiar scenario, sort of on foot. And I think it's fair to say on foot mechanics in a lot of games are kind of natural, second nature to most players now. A lot of the way you move around is kind of like is understood. And I think once you do stuff like that, it's a case of like, I want to travel and I want to see these cool places. And so the next step is, I'll take Apex, and you do travel in real time, and I'll fly to this next location. I'll look at it, and this is really, really cool. And then, like anything, like growing up, you're like, well, now I just want to do it on my own. I don't want mum and dad to drop me off. I want my own.
I guess
car.
That means
so then
you'll have a new starting scenario on foot.
And you'll learn, and by that time you'll have met players. And
I suppose they have to.
As we all know how passionate our community are, they will help each other, and they will. That's what I can't wait to see. But the real question, Sam, the burning question that I want to know is, when you get in to an Apex Interstellar, do they offer you mints or water as like to get that 5-star tip?
Put that request, 5-star rating. Yeah.
So no, there isn't. I was only joking. There isn't a rating system.
Small bag of peanuts.
Apex, just in case you think I was alluding to it, there isn't. I think that's a feature we can do without.
They're all excellent pilots.
Yeah, they're all excellent pilots, and nobody wants messages being hassled for a review after you've already got home, like after a late night hauling stuff. You don't want. Can you give Corin a 5-star review? No, I want to go to bed. Right. So one of the next places we didn't see, or the last place we didn't see really, is the kiosk for, now this is an exciting position, is Frontline Solutions. So Sam, can you tell us what Frontline Solutions is, or who they are and what they do?
Yeah, Frontline Solutions will ship you out to a conflict zone if you want to. Obviously, there has to be one nearby, so this is dependent on the BGS as well. If there are factions at war, you'll be able to join a conflict zone on foot. This is exciting because you may just come across one, but if you were to book through Frontline Solutions, then you can either take your ship and fly there yourself, or you can take the drop ship.
Like the sound of that.
You'll be dropped there
So
to then
cool.
jump in. Yeah,
It's so
the immersion
cool.
is real. Yeah.
I got in trouble for this when I said it the other day on stream, but it is so cool because you're in the little harness thing and you turn and you look and you
Does this mean there's a new
drop in.
ship?
I got very serious Starship Trooper vibes. We are going to show some of that off later on, but there is, to be fair, there is a lot of stuff I generally don't want to show everything because I want you to experience it and see it firsthand. And I don't want to spoil everything. And I know there's a thirst for a lot of information. Two things: one, I don't want to spoil everything, and two, there's so much information I couldn't possibly disseminate it all over to you all accurately in time. So a lot of this stuff is there to be found. But Frontline Solutions is very, very cool. And like you said, it's dependent on the background simulation, right? There has to be conflict for you to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. And then once you're there, you, as kind of players would be familiar with, you then can pick your side, who you want to fight for, and then you can win and get the reward for winning if you win.
Yeah.
But I think it's got kind of a different dimension because for on foot, it's got a slightly different flavor. You've got some control points that you need to secure. You've
Capture the
got to
flag.
make sure that you're kind of thinking tactically, and the conflict zones themselves do vary in difficulty and intensity. So there's lots of different things to explore there, which is really cool. But I don't think I'll ever fly to a conflict zone with my own ship again. I think I'm just going to take the dropship every time.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Too cool, yeah.
But also, I think as well to remember, chat, is the conflict zones, because they're led by the background sim. They will never really feel the same if you go there twice because it'd be at a different time of day. It could be at night time, and nighttime is super cool. You see these squads going in with their torches and the laser flashes and the lighting team and like the noise. It's entirely different to like the daytime when you go to a conflict zone, and it's just as qualitative. I've got to use real words today, Arthur. But it's just a different vibe entirely. And then of course it depends where that conflict zone is taking place and on the planet type and like where it's located. It's mind-boggling, and that's just one type or one element of what Frontlines do. And I do like the sad face, or the sad, there's no work for you here today because there's no war. They are the meanest people in the galaxy. They're like, there's no war, I can't help you.
Yeah.
Cool, couple more things to talk about. So then we see Commander Rizzoni approach one of the boards in which we talked about briefly, but can you just go through like the mission board? I think it's like a physical representation of the traditional mission board that you have in your ship. Exactly
that, yeah. So kind of what we were saying, it's an option to kind of hop in and see what missions are available, grab whatever you want in the same way that you'd be familiar with if you were to land at a station and access the mission board that way. So it's a really cool thing that you're still able to hop in and look at, and the terminals and kind of screens are situated around the concourse as well, so you're able to access it from kind of anywhere you want to, and there's multiple of them as well, so you never know, you and your friends could be scrolling through together. It's just a nice little extra touch, really. Yeah,
it's really nice. And then obviously the commander then heads to the elevator lift, turbo lift, super shaft, whatever you want to call it,
lift, yeah,
super turbo lift, to the hangar, which is super quick, and that is one take. That is no funny editing in that. That is all one take. And then you get one of the moments that I love the most is seeing your ship and the sheer scale of it in the hangar. Now that was a Dolphin.
Dolphin was a bad choice.
Ship, but I obviously the first ship I tested was a Chieftain, and just appreciating how big these things are. They are massive.
Because it looks like the Orca and Beluga, so you can't really like.
One of the really cool
also, it's tiny.
well.
Come across. Yeah.
It is tiny.
I mean, I'll give you a guess of which ship I had when I first went down
you
to
mentioned it already, didn't you? It's going to be the cutter, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
it
tiny.
was. But when I went down there and I realised that I was kind of the size of like 2 or 3 of the steps, it's quite kind of, okay, maybe a couple more, but generally speaking, it's just such a boggling moment that you realise how humongous these ships really are, and the variety of them as well. So yeah, it's really
and it'll
cool.
be with like your paint schemes and ship kits on them and all that sort of stuff. So
yeah, absolutely. And again, you've got there's kind of 3 different levels. You've got the SRV as well. You've got the ship, and then you've got on foot. It just feels like 3 different kind of ways to experience things. So yeah,
it's super cool. And then obviously we saw the Commander board, which is a question I guess people have been asking for a long time, and it is a traditional transition, which I know. And look, chat, we understand some people may have wanted to have the full ship interiors, but I will go back to what we've already discussed. Everything done with Odyssey is purely based around longevity of gameplay and stuff like the sheer scale of these ships to sort of. It would be fun, in my opinion, and I'm happy to be at odds with different people in the chat, which I'm sure I will be. It would be fun to run up the steps the first 5, 6, 7 times, but then after you've done that 1,000 times, you're probably going to be a little bit more, I just need to get into my ship. And especially if you are leaving someplace in a hurry in a big ship, you probably wouldn't want to be spending 10 minutes running down the corridors as people are laying into your ship. So a lot of this stuff is done to enhance the gameplay.
This guy gets it.
To focus on really those core gameplay loops which we spoke about. But for me, I think it's something I'm used to, and it's there. You've seen it now. That is the transition.
Yeah. What I will say though is, I find it really immersive. The audio team have done a really lovely job of kind of, you can hear the stepping outside and the ceiling doors, and it is really immersive as you kind of transition into the on foot experience. So it's
yeah.
I think it's really cool.
I found it natural as well. Like just doing it was super easy to, and it made perfect sense to me as having played Elite using my SRV and my SLF. It just made sense to me. And then obviously Commander Rissoni shows off by leaving the starport and not hitting anything on the way out, which is
that was smooth. I was impressed
with
that. That was a good speed in a big ship.
He wasn't a dolphin. I mean, I did crash in the beluga, and it did have a ship kit on. These are all my excuses that I'm throwing in, but he just made it look super easy. He took off, flew straight out. Now, so that's what. So that I guess is, and the thing to remember again, chat. That is one starport in however many hundreds of thousands there could be that we've shown you today. Is there anything I've missed, Sam? Have I missed anything off? I'm not sure. Probably. There's a lot. There's a lot, right? There's a lot in there.
There's definitely what a very reliable source tells me that there's some audio Easter eggs to find as well. So I won't say any more.
Do you know what? I'm so glad you said that, because I'm aware of them, and I was like, are they in? And I don't want to say it, and they're not. So yes, chat, there are some audio Easter eggs in there for you to find, and I'm sure some of you will be very happy when you.
Will there be deployed ones?
Right. So
do I get that?
Yes. Is there anything else, Sam? Anything else you wanna?
Yes.
I don't know. Just
that'd be
I
awesome.
want to make sure I've covered everything, and I've done a.
I haven't recorded any, so just want to say I don't know if there are.
No, it's all good.
It's all good.
I think you've covered everything. I don't think
you should be able to hear the station announcements.
Awesome. Well, Samantha, thank you so much.
We've got to check that and play
tonight. I know
if you can hear them in the bar.
And I've just made it a bit longer, but it's been a genuine pleasure having you on. I know chat have really enjoyed it and are really grateful for the insights and stuff. If we can get you back on, would you come back onto the show and say hello to everyone?
Definitely.
Awesome. Right, I'm going to flip back to me and Bruce. Sam, thanks a lot. Have a great evening, and we'll catch you soon. 07, and I'm going to...
07, Sam.
07, thank you.
Awesome stuff. Bruce, wow. Wowzers. Wow. I didn't let you speak.
I'm wondering whether or not they've got anything else they're going to add, any other little tidbits.
Very happy. I think chat were happy, actually. I didn't interject too much because there was just so much to absorb there, and obviously...
He's going to drop a new ship on us, and he's going to do something.
Various aspects
there aren't any new ships planned, though.
It really is quite
they have
something.
admitted
It's going to change
what about
the way the game
unplanned
is
ones?
experienced.
Surprise ship!
It's a big deal.
Yeah, like I say, I was blown away. I'd seen starports in sort of iterations, but when you see it all come together, you're just like, lordy lord. It's really, really good. Okay, so that was starports. Now again, I'm not sure, is it live now on YouTube, Bruce? I'm not sure if it is or not.
If it's not, it will be very shortly at the end of this stream.
There we go. It'll be
My breakdown in depth is already live, guys. So the link is going into chats on both YouTube and Twitch. So make sure you go and check it out, because I've picked up on some stuff on there that we haven't commented on yet. Plus, we're going to do a bit of a live breakdown as well, with all of us having a quick look, and we will go into some bits.
Logistically, viably, sensibly as possible, so people can visit them no matter where they are. I don't really dwell too much on it, but we hope that it sort of serves the need that we want it to serve and be respectful enough. So if you do want to submit a name for addition to Memorials in the future, please use the link on our social post, which I'm sure we'll chuck out again today, tomorrow, and put your submissions on there. But so they're live now in the game, and you can visit them as and when you want to. Next, Bruce, I guess we should probably talk about. I know why am I using this, Bruce? I'm using a Stream Deck. So, by the way, chat, Arthur has evolved. Arthur has evolved from just using OBS. He now has a Stream Deck in front of him, and he's got little digits on it. It's got little graphics on it, and I have not used OBS once. I'm just tapping buttons. So there you go, chat. I'm going to go to this button.
Oh, good lad.
Okay. So if you did or didn't see this earlier on today, we put out our...
And obviously we've already covered this as well. It's worth
Alpha.
mentioning.
Now, a couple of things I want to go into on this.
There might be some extra bits.
To jump in or just to make me clarify.
At least we know now what all these terms are, like frontline solutions.
As much as possible, now. This generally is an alpha. We are expecting you all to find bugs. We are expecting you all to find problems. We are expecting things to not work correctly. This is not a demo of Elite Dangerous Odyssey. This is an alpha, so we fully expect things to not work, and that's just being as honest can be. Some of the stuff the guys are doing, you can see there with the scope of stuff. We simply can't test, even if there wasn't the global situation, we wouldn't be able to test all this stuff in-house. It requires the numbers that our community can give us. So it's going to be sort of broken into phases. Now I will say this. Now, and I won't get shot for this because it's factual. It's what the team are working towards, but we don't want to commit to too much because we don't want to set expectations and not be able to meet them. So we're calling these phases, phase 1, 2, 3, and 4. Ideally, we'd like these phases to be a week long and then move into the next phase. But we're not saying a week because obviously we don't know.
Sorry, School, what was that?
No plan.
So that's what you were saying.
So we don't know what's going to happen in the first week. It could go smooth, it could be fine, everything could be great, or everything could be on fire, and we have to extend it and we have to analyze data a bit more. So ideally, we're looking at these being a week long, but they could be longer. So that's just being upfront and honest about it. So phase 1, everyone's going to get a blank new commander. Everyone's going to be one single system. Now, the system is a large system. I can't remember how many planetary bodies were in it when I last looked. But there's a lot of planetary bodies for players to travel between. So it's not like one system with 4 planets. I think there was like 13, 14, 15. There was a lot of planetary bodies for people to visit and stations to go around. So there'll be plenty of places to go to.
Surprised I'm not saying which system.
And explore. There won't be ships to own, but there will be Apex Interstellar, so you can get to use the grips of going there, using Apex, seeing how that works. We can see how it works, doesn't work, etc. You'll be able to buy the best suit in the game, which is the Remlock Maverick Scavenger Suit. This is one that comes with a cool cutting tool. There'll be access to Takada and kinematic weapons, and just to be clear, that's lasers and kinetic ballistic weapons. Plasma weaponry is not going to be in the alpha. The main reason that is we want to keep something back. In all fairness, we're still testing parts of it, but essentially we don't want to give you access to every single thing in the game, right away. So we're going to hold some of that stuff back. And there'll be a variety of missions from obviously standard stuff, and there's some non-combat stuff in there as well, so you can do standard sort of deliver stuff to various people. There's some salvage missions in there you can go to and sort of investigate. But the first real week or first phase is focusing on our core systems and networking and making sure that we get the stress testing done to its max. I think that's
phase 1, the bane of instancing.
Break it.
No, it sounds good.
That's our job.
Nothing really to add to phase 1.
Cool.
Just to reiterate that, so actually, there's a point here I would like to interject, which is people are asking about NDAs and streaming the alpha. No NDAs are necessary. You know, if you've got access to the alpha, it's yours. Play it and speak freely about it and stream it. Yep. That's all fine. Just bear in mind, like Arthur said, it's an alpha. It's liable to be a bit wonky here and there. So, yeah. But on that point, we are going to have some updates for the issue tracker to help facilitate bug feedback, and we're also going to have forum threads for more gameplay-focused feedback, just to capture all of the information you guys send our way.
Yeah, and we're going to put a post out about that. If it's not after this, it will be tomorrow. We'll put a post out on how to do that. So thank you, Bruce. It's a very good point to interject with. And then phase 2, we're going to focus a little bit more on the combat side of things. So we open up a bit more space, so 20 light years of playable space. You'll be able to purchase actual ships in the game. So imagine this is almost like Elite Light. So you'll have everything in there. Some things won't be in there. So stuff like And this is for both of these, the phase 2 and 3 and 4. So this is the alpha will not contain these things. So we're not going to show off. There won't be access to Guardian sites, Vargoid sites, or engineers. Because we want to
makes sense. I mean, it's only a 50 light year bubble.
And again, this is an alpha, and the purpose of the alpha.
Yeah, it makes sense. I get it.
And some core features. So please bear that in mind. So obviously, phase 2, we're open up to 20 light years of space for travel. You'll be able to purchase your own ships, upgrade them as much as you would do normally. Obviously, with the exception of the engineering part of it, but that's going to be in there. We're going to add in the Manticore Dominator combat suit, the Dominator, which will be available for purchase. Now that suit has access to 2 primary weapons, which you may want to use if you're going to visit the any systems that will have will be in a conflict state. So obviously, if the background simulation supports it, and I'm sure it will, we can ensure that frontline solutions will be available, so you'll be able to test out how that works, which is a very cool system. But again, we need to see how it's going to play out, and we do expect it to have its niggles and problems. It's an alpha, and then obviously there'll be missions for traveling around. So obviously you've got your trade and stuff like that. Points of interest will be around at this point. So I did have this pointed out to me, and I do concede that the wording there that I wrote, and it is my fault, including trading with settlements and points of interest. You're not trading with points of interest. It's including trading with settlements, and there'll be points of interest to go and visit and explore, etc.
Needs an Oxford comma.
So my bad. You don't trade with a point. That'd be me going up to, I don't know, the Statue of Liberty and asking if she wants to buy, I don't know, a pack of 5 Carling. I don't think she would. She's not that kind of girl. She's definitely a white wine spritzer.
A 5-pack, implying that one is missing for.
Well, I've got it's a long journey to New York, Bruce. Right, going to get thirsty. So points of interest are going to be really cool, and they vary in different types. Some will be you can discover them with your discovery scanner and stuff like that. Some will be abandoned places. Some will be you'll be able to go there and be people there. Some will be you'll be able to go there and people might turn up. They might be hostile. You might have to run away. You might decide you want to stay and fight, etc., etc., etc. So that'll be all there as well. And then phase 3 will be a bigger bubble, 50 light years. And these are approximate, by the way. And it would include unexplored planets, so you'll be able to see how that first footfall sort of mechanic works. We'll introduce the Supratech Artemis Explorer suit, which will be able to purchase, which is the one you're going to need, which has all the extra storage and power consumption and stuff that keep you alive longer in hostile environments. And then also you'll be able to, it has the genetic sampler tool attached to it, so you'll be able to actually analyze some of the organics that you might be able to find. Now please understand that organics and stuff like that are based scientifically or within the simulation, so you may not see every type of organic that is in the galaxy. Obviously you may find only a few planets with them because they have very set criteria for them to have a chance to sort of to flourish. It's very unlikely you'll find like a golden planet where you might find 2 or 3 types of organic on, which can happen in the galaxy. I did speak to a few of the devs and said that it is entirely possible you could find one of these planets that just sits in that sweet spot and everything can be found. So that's phase 3, and then phase 4 will be compatibility. Now, something we'll put some socials out just to confirm. I haven't put it on this sheet, and purely because I know how this works. This will go out, and everyone will forget this piece of information that I'm about to give you now. Between phase 3 and 4, there will be 2 or 3 days of downtime on our servers, because what we're going to do at that point is take a snapshot of your actual in-game commanders and all of their assets and bring them into the alpha. So it's going to take us a bit of time to get that across. So there will be some socials that go around time to remind you. So it won't be that the alpha is ending. It's just a few days downtime whilst we take snapshots and import them into the alpha.
It's the usual freak out that the alpha's down. Everyone's like, oh, the alpha's broken, it's down, it's rubbish, it's broken. It's like, no, we knew this was happening.
We expect you to try and break things and do silly things. I've heard people claiming they're going to do some insane amounts of sort of people trying to instance in one spot and jump on roofs of buildings and stuff like that. That's what the idea is. And obviously that includes all the stuff you might own. Carrier ships, fighters, SRVs can be used. Again, I will stress, this is all in flux in terms of like, depending on how
so
we
in
get
the
on
first
with the alpha,
3 phases we will be able to travel exclusively with Apex Interstellar between the star systems, right?
Still picking up on all the other stuff that's
phase 1 and then phase 2 you've got ships.
Enough stuff here at the moment
that you can
deal with that, and then we'll bring 3 carriers in at a later date. So I think that kind of
I don't think
covers
so.
off everything.
This
asset will sit on our timeline somewhere. I'm sure we'll surface it again. But obviously, if you're a lifetime expansion pass owner, you will have access to this. it will show up in the launcher, and it would have Odyssey Alpha Public Tester download, and you'll be able to do that. I'm not sure if we've got a confirmed start time yet. I still need to get this in, but I would expect it by sort of midday on the Monday. But I'm just full disclosure, chat. It's still being worked on. There's a lot of stuff going on at the minute. Obviously, this is launching an alpha of a games live service, largest update during a global pandemic. So give us a little bit of leeway here. We're aiming for midday, but it could be a bit later. Again, obviously, areas are subject to change, and the missions that you'll find will be subject to the background simulation. And that, I guess, is everything about the alpha rollout. Bruce, have I missed anything?
Just to respond to something in chat there, yes, it's still going to be peer-to-peer networking using Amazon's web services.
Enjoy it, and we look forward to hearing what you have to say and how you, what you think about it, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I've enjoyed today's stream. It's good to be back on camera to break your winning streak with the young Zach, the interloper. How dare he take the limelight from I, the shiny dome. But thank you for joining us, Bruce. Thanks again to Samantha Marsh for giving up her time for coming and joining us. The entire team is super busy, so all the time they give us is so gratefully received. And thank you, chat, for tuning in, for watching. We're going to put this video live now on our YouTube channel, so go through it.
Obviously, guys, do stick around. We've got some actual chat, because we've been given a lot of information to go through.
Thanks again, everyone.
So we're going to chat about everything. I want to get ourselves
But that was a great stream. Can I just say that?
That was great.
Really good.
As I've said in chat, like to people, I don't know if people on the YouTube side saw it, but I'm loving this, the honesty that they're giving. You know, the fact that they're not saying, well, you know, no ATAs, no guarantees, no, can't really say anything. It's a bit of a secret. They're saying flat out, I want to tell you, there's a lot of stuff. I don't want to spoil anything, but you know that Arthur and Bruce are going to tell you stuff when they can, often getting themselves in trouble in the process.
And they're openly saying that they're keeping stuff back for after the alpha, which is a good thing. So you will have reason to jump into it again when the game is fully released and get, another fresh opinion how it then actually looks and works.
Yeah,
that's nice.
The fact that he's saying, yes, we're holding stuff back, and here's why. I love that. I love that. Brilliant. This is an approach that they could have used maybe a few years ago, but I really like this approach that they've got now. Feels a lot more honest.
Yeah.
That's a very nice ship you got there, Mr. P.
Thank you. It's a gold shiny Corvette. That's unusual for me, isn't it? It's unusual to have that. But obviously, this is.
I can already see the Ployd standing on a hill with a minigun and saying, I have the high ground.
Literally nothing but
with
rocket
the flag
launchers.
Next to him, capture the flag, capture the hill.
My plan is just be the man with a rocket launcher. Probably. But also, first-person shooter stuff, I love getting myself in there, running in, and being right up in people's hostile little faces with a shotgun. So that's probably going to be my preference. Yeah, it's going to be that all over again. Or so yeah, I'm looking forward to using the kinetic weapons like the shotguns, because I know there is a shotgun. We've been told there are only a few different classes.
You're the guy who runs up to people with the shotgun, gets right up in their grill and says, "Get out of my face!" And they're like, "But you run up to me. You're still here."
Yeah, that's the one.
No, I'm the guy that runs up, shoots you, and then as you drop down the floor dead, stand over your head and just go boop boop up and down and run off again. Yeah, I'm 100% going to do it.
If anyone miraculously survives, Nuke will be on a hilltop half a mile away with a sniper rifle to finish him off. That's
the most important question. The most important question: can you shoot yourself around a planet? No, with a sniper rifle. Just shoot horizontally and hit yourself in the back of the head.
Yeah, it's not a bad
Right,
idea.
I see what you said there.
Okay, let's find out. We'll have to try shooting ourselves with
So
every
you
weapon.
want to know if the actual bullets are physically modelled as entities in
What I want to know is there bullet drop? Then we can make it work.
Velocity.
Well, we know that gravity has an effect on grenades. So and it has been considered. So it's something where you throw the grenade, and in low gravity it will go further. because they mentioned that when they were recording the gameplay, they were lobbing them and they just went flying off into the distance. They were like, "Oh no!"
But I really wonder now if that actually has an effect on bullet drop as well. Because imagine like being on a 10G world and firing your rifle, and it drops like in front of you, just like 10 feet in front of you into the ground.
Yeah.
Just a small raid.
Oh goodness!
I suppose, welcome in, Raiders. I'm Commander Plater. How are you all doing this evening? We are currently having a chat about everything that we have seen, and you're welcome to get involved. Hey, hope you're doing good. Should have been prepared for it.
Your stream is tanking now for me as well.
Hello there.
Twitch wasn't prepared either.
No, Twitch wasn't prepared at all, but thank you for the follows, guys. Those that are following, thank you very much. Welcome in. Obviously, I'm going to be streaming the alpha when it launches on Monday.
Hello there.
There's an alpha. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know if you had a small little update for a game called Elite Dangerous. Personally, never heard of it before. And there's also apparently there's loads of information kicking around about it. Also, not caught any of it whatsoever.
I remember Elite from the
definitely
80s. Are you saying there's a new version?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. There's some new. Apparently, it's an older game now. It came out in 2015, but.
Now, seeing that so many people just joined, I reckon, Plato, you mentioned earlier that you saw some tidbits and had some thoughts for the gameplay thing we've seen just then.
Yes, indeed.
Why don't we get into these so we can actually talk about the substantial stuff?
Yeah, sure. First off,
Hello there.
casual self-promo, because it's what you do when you're a content creator. I have done a full breakdown video, with bits in slow-mo, pointing stuff out, if you kind of want to sit there and have everything in one concise point without banter. But now we're about to go over some stuff with some banter.
So when you've gone through it in slow-mo, were you saying, now here's a new
Yeah, that's 100% what it was like. 100%.
Slow times 2. Yeah.
Right, so let me just go into my folder.
Hello there.
Okay, so again, I'm going to have the volume off on this because, like I said previously, it is a little bit of copyright issues with the music that's in it, and I can't.
Is it copy-righteous?
It's copywritten, copyrighted, copy-wronged. But yeah, I'm gonna get rid of me so that people don't need to see me. I'm not in the station when you walk around. I'm not always in the bottom left-hand corner of your HUD. Probably.
Plater's
disappointing.
In Plater's Tyranny, that's what it works. Yeah, that's how it works.
I really wonder if we're gonna be able to hear the station announcements in the what do they call it? The court area? No, the
pub. It's the pub. Let's face it.
In the pub, yeah. That's where we're gonna be.
It's going to be cool.
Hello there.
It's going to be so cool if we're standing there and then we hear Plater's voice saying that he will not tolerate people practicing landing with flight assist off. That's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, just imagine coming back from a mission with your squad or coming back from a trading hall with your squad and just going to the pub for a beer afterwards together. That's amazing.
Oh, it's like, how many times did you die?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Same thing. I am genuinely interested to know whether or not there will be any, because I said there's some, the audio Easter eggs. I am wondering whether or not you will be able to hear my voice in Plater's Tyranny. I am very interested to know.
That would be excellent.
So,
but yes, we've wondered if Jax is actually going to be the barman in Colonia, which would be brilliant. But I mean, I wouldn't put it past FDev because they have kept surprising us in the past with these extra tidbits and going the extra mile in some places. But I'm not sure they've even thought about that. I hope someone did at FDev.
Well, there is. What was that? There was a comic, wasn't there, which showed Jax as his android going through all of the stages, becoming an android, and then having his station. And because Jax has got the only jumping station in the game, I think, that travels around all the time. So now he's in Colonia, he's at the heart of the new bubble. He should totally be behind the bar.
Absolutely.
And he should look like he does in Frontier's own art. If they've gone to that level of detail, that would be amazing.
Hello there.
Certainly something we have to check out as soon as we can.
Chat saying play the video.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I'll play it. So, I say I've got it on the screen. I'm going to stop it for bits.
Hello there.
So I really want everyone to focus and look at the facial animations of this character on the bridge. Very, very important. Just look at her mouth.
Hello there.
Okay. That didn't look very good. And it didn't actually match the audio. I hate to do this, and I hate to hate on stuff. But that was a bit of a shame. Very, very slight.
Hello there.
There it is. Doesn't look natural. Looks like kind of going over the just mouth opening. And again, I can't have the audio on because of the music. 800 songs that are all. Some might be safe. Some might.
I think what you're looking at here is it's the same as the Elder Scrolls games, where they have kind of an in-game lip sync feature that depends on the audio that's fed to it. But it's not like motion capture or the handcrafted stuff which Scorb and I do in our videos. Because this is going to have to be across the board with all of the characters that you see. So you can't hand animate all of them or do the mocap for it.
In all languages too.
Yeah, but I just want to interject real quick. Keep in mind, it is pre-alpha. This might change. We're just evaluating what we're seeing right now.
And a couple of comments on the... I say, with regards to it being pre-alpha, I'm mentioning this one in particular because when we reach the next one, it's spot on and perfect and looks really, really good. So it's just that more of like that kind of thing. And I'm really sorry about the...
to be expected, it's just a pre-alpha artifact.
Yeah, it could just be. It's just that's it. Also, I can't turn the hello there's off. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I've disabled the visual notifications, so I am sorry about that. But right, moving on. Going forward, because there's a couple bits.
Hello there.
Lots of advertising. Stabby Dave's worried about a haircut. That's surprising. Okay, so obviously this guy looks exactly like Arthur, but his animations on his mouth are absolutely spot on. Now, anything on that? Okay, so here in the threat level 6, and it's marked as dangerous, and it's a covert infiltration. So you've got to avoid getting found and getting spotted, but you also have to
hello there.
Obviously not set off any alarms, otherwise you're going to be fighting your way out. So that's where it's going to be super dangerous, I imagine. That's what I would assume.
Hello there.
Obviously, guys, if you've got anything you want to chip in with, please do. Don't feel like I'm dominating, because
there's a lot to take in. There's a lot to take in with all of this stuff.
Oh yeah.
Just in general, I have to say I kind of have to eat my words because I've been very skeptic of the whole, space legs thing in the past. Because I was of the opinion that Elite isn't really made for it, and unless they can really flesh out everything really well and integrate it into the existing game in a good way, it's gonna feel out of place and incomplete and like a tacked on thing. And now seeing this, I feel confident in saying that I think they got this. I think they've actually put in enough effort and thought about probably almost every aspect of space legs in general, that I think it's gonna be a very nice experience adding to the existing game and gameplay.
And obviously it's like things aren't perfect, but them saying that the AI talks to each other as well. I do recommend everyone watches this separately on their own with the volume pumped right up, because when you walk past the NPCs, you hear them talk to each other. And one of them was like, "Yeah, I'm thinking of leaving the area. I really need to get out of here. Oh yeah, I don't think things are right at the moment." And they're talking, and that conversation is going to be influenced by BGS states as well, because all the NPCs are going to be influenced by BGS state, and that's awesome.
That's interesting.
You're gonna get an idea of what's going on in the system just by walking around that one station, which is brilliant.
And I love this bit, like, as you can see right out into the mail slot, and you can see all the ships going by.
Hello
Yeah,
there.
this is
How
gonna be
many-
such a goosebumps moment, isn't it?
How many
see that.
people on streams, though, are going to be banging into that window because they know they can?
Yes.
Hello
Yes.
Don't know what you're talking about. That's good.
And
Never
you
did that,
just
did we?
know that at some point you're gonna see an SRV floating by.
Will be an
Most of them will
SRV.
be spatula.
There'll be ships outside going.
Hello there.
"Vroom."
Yes.
Sounds
I can't wait.
I think
And
that-
yes, there was a question, Chad. Yes, this will be at every station, and they've confirmed it will even be at some of the ground
Hello
bases
there.
of the engineers, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah,
a
they
few
said
select
engineers.
ground bases will also have this kind of commute area here.
And the place is going to be different as well. Lots of variation.
Yes.
Hello there.
So if you're at a very luxury
Gabriel.
station, the interior and your view out into the station's bays will also be very different.
six and a bit years since it was in its
Hello
original
there.
beta launch, and you've seen these stations. You got so used to them, and then you'll actually be here on foot, looking out at that mail slot that you've been flying in for this past 6 years. That's just going to be a moment.
Hello there.
It's going to be a magic.
it's pretty
moment.
nuts. And the fact that it works both ways as well. So you have there could potentially be a ship sat there looking in and could potentially see
Hello there.
people walking around inside.
This
You gotta
suggests,
find that window first, though, because that station
but-
is big.
that's what I'm about to say. This suggests that they've overhauled the interiors of
Hello
the
there.
station, because at the moment, if you fly into certain parts of it, it looks quite low poly, low resolution textures and things. So if they've got an area now where you can actually see inside, if they haven't increased the level of detail
Hello there.
close to the surface, and if hopefully they stopped it jumping about, but it's going to look really jarring if you can see inside the bar, you can see people. But then everything else looks like the old game. So I think
Hello there.
I would guess that they've upgraded the interiors as well to suit.
Or they've just expanded the loitering exclusion zones, so you can't get that as close.
Oh, that would be
Hello
weak
there.
sauce. That would. Oh,
It's worth keeping in mind as well, is that there's they're not going to be upgrading or changing the minimum
Hello there.
requirements for the game on PC either,
Bravo.
which
That's
is
remarkable.
which says they've optimized it massively, and they have said they've optimized it and done a fantastic job with it to make sure it all run. You've got to think
Hello
that from a
there.
games company, yeah, cool, you want to make something that looks absolutely exquisite, but you want to make sure you've got something that a lot of people can play.
And that's not trivial if you consider such a feature, seeing the ships outside and seeing the
Hello
people
there.
inside from the outside. That's not trivial in terms of, making it work. If you think back to Star Citizen when they introduced Levski, how incredibly frame-numbing that experience was looking inside and outside, and
Hello there.
still was until they removed it, to be honest. So, yeah, they certainly did a lot of work in optimizing all this.
Right, let's have a look at a few questions in chat there. We've got... someone wants to know who we are.
Hello there.
Oh, right, well...
Who's the database?
oh yeah, that's
So
true.
rude,
I'm
Player, so
being.
rude.
I know. I can't believe it. I didn't say who I was being
Wow.
joined by. I am such a horrible host. So I am joined by Commander Ascorbius.
Hello there.
hello.
You say hello there. Turgeon Starstone,
Hello there.
and some random guy called Greatest,
Hello, Niam.
who just turned up. He wasn't invited. It's ridiculous, I tell you.
I know. Let's see what else we had. Silly question, but can you actually sit on the seats? That's a good question. Don't know.
That's a very good
we'll
question.
have to find out.
As long as the NPCs can.
Hello there.
Yeah.
I-
And more importantly, unlike some other games, once you've sat down, can you stand up again?
yes. Let's see what's
Just
about,
one thing we'll have to find out once we get our hands on this.
Hello there.
Right. Aries13 says, what's this about an alpha character? Will I lose progress from the alpha? Will it merge with my main character? Everything that's in the alpha and the beta of Odyssey, that'll all just end up being
Hello
wiped,
there.
I suspect, and it won't affect your main character in the game at all. So it's a new character that's just for the duration of the alpha, and then when all that's over, that character's just going to be like, bye-bye.
Yeah, and
So it's
going
not
by
really
how they-
attached to.
how they did it in the past, even phase 4, when they're doing the snapshot, will just be, for the alpha. It will be one way. They'll take a snapshot of the actual game, import it into the alpha, then you can fuff around, have fun with your money, your ships, whatever. And then once the alpha's finished, all your progress, so to say, that you made there will be vanished.
But it's testing progress anyway. It's like,
yeah,
there's no point in carrying that over to your main account.
Hello there.
Absolutely.
It'll be exactly the same as whenever they've done a beta on anything else. They take a snapshot, probably from about 2 weeks prior. They take a snapshot, and then you get to play the alpha or the beta, whatever it is at the time. And you get to do whatever you want, test things, break things. They want you to break things. There will be bugs. They want you to break them.
People are chatting about the way of walking around, whether it'll be WASD or joysticks. I'd imagine, given what they've done in the past, you'll be able to customize things. Yet another sheet of customizations for you for more movement.
Oh god, more control schemes. Oh no.
Oh yes.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Will the old station services be available? Yes, they'll be in your ship, same as always. That's not going to change, because people, Odyssey, remember, is voluntary. People have to buy it as an add-on for the game, so there'll be people who don't have Odyssey, and they'll be playing the game just as was. So all of the old stuff that's in currently will still be there.
I think we should continue with the video, right?
Move on. Yes, more videos.
So, carrying on. Next mission giver, old Rodolfo Newton. He gives us another mission there, or offers it. So we actually take this mission as well, which is interesting. And I think what's worth stopping on is the rewards for the mission being financial boost, so more money, and it's 348,000 credits, which I think is pretty good, considering the reputation is only neutral. And as you know, the
obviously
higher you're...
subject to change, but if it is going to be somewhat near to how it's going to be in the end, that's promising.
Hello there.
So, yeah, it should be interesting. But also the titanium plating with a new engineering material, which will be for suits.
And graphene.
Yeah, we know, be an interesting one, or kind of like a I don't know how that is, how that would be.
I do like how clean the new user interfaces are. They've had a really nice like UI pass on things, and I'm really hoping that things migrate over as well to the user interface in game. I know change is always like a pain, but like we have to admit that, like, if you even right now, if you go to a fleet carrier and you look at the difference in the user interface, it looks so much better than some parts of the game stock.
I like the way that the interaction screens also have a subtle curve on them, like you have with VR interaction screens.
Yeah, it's a little bit like you're seeing it in your helmet, because technically that wouldn't be there when you come and talk to someone. Like when you go and talk to someone and they offer you something, it doesn't. So this new screen doesn't slide out of their body, does it? So
yeah,
be an interesting one again. And here we can see the bartender trade assets and goods, and we've got chemical circuits and tech, which is kind of a.
In the frame, I expect probably going to be an ingredient for maybe like medical equipment, health, etc. Sounds like it.
Why am I buying glue from a barman?
Maybe you sniff it. I don't know. Yeah, good question, really.
No, you're selling it to him. You're not buying it from you. You're selling it to him.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. So why is he buying glue from me?
0G small stations.
Mate.
Will it be wizard bartenders keeping drinks in the glass in 0G small outposts and stations?
Also, note there on the left, we're currently only looking at the chemicals tab. There's also circuits and tech.
Yeah, I'm going to assume more, because it's kind of like you've got your three components. That's similar to your raw, your data, and your manufactured for your current engineering. I assume it's that kind of trifecta that we've got going on. And what we really need is for them to click on circuits and tech for us to know for sure.
Yeah.
And then we'd know.
That's their own Jada Card asking chat, a little weird you do that with the bartender. Well, my sort of in-law guess at it would be that all the bartenders are your secret pilots federation contact. They don't behave like this with ordinary people in the station.
Quick question though, do you guys understand how this interface works? Because it says cost 23 and your inventory is 95, so I would expect to be able to buy 4 units of graphene here. But why does it say on the right-hand side you could acquire 53 units of what?
But that's by trading all your chemicals. So that's... I'm looking at this as I think it's kind of a strange combination between a material trader and selling stuff. So, and also, there is something we have to point out here. Look at the graphene. When we select it, we've got 95 currently. We go up to it, select it, then we offer to trade 10, and we've got 85 in our inventory, but then we end up with 90 in our inventory because we gain 5. So, I don't know what's happening there. It reduces by 5. It reduces by 5. We're selecting reduce by 10, but then it goes up by 5. I don't understand.
Is it alpha?
Yeah. I think that's a little bit of alpha magic.
Yeah, I think it's magic.
Is this what we call is new math? Is that that's what the kids are calling
Work
it?
in progress, I think, is what that's called.
Yeah, for sure.
I am interested. There was a question asked earlier on about like 0G and drinks and things, because of course this is in a station, so the station's rotating around. You've got a centrifugal force pushing you down, so it's like 0.3 G or something like that when you're at the bar.
But what about the outposts?
Don't know. It's a very good question. We're going to have to check it.
They don't have any gravity technically.
Well, they'll have
unless they've got a spinny bit, a rotating bit.
Yeah, it's a very good question.
But a space outpost, no gravity.
You mentioned the big boots plater. You really like boots that people are wearing. I imagine they're all mag boots.
It'll all be mag boots, yes.
Mag boots have been confirmed.
Like the latest fashion Ugg boots,
But they'd have mag boots. That's great. But do all the drinks have little mag boots? Is that what it's going to be like? Are the plants that will have mag boots? Because the thing about plants is that people think they grow up. They don't just grow up. They only grow towards light sources, which is typically because of the daytime and the way it works. Is that the sun is always moving, so it's never in one position longer than another.
If plants don't grow up, I must be a plant.
Well, about that.
I have to
be in sippy cups. That's
right. I have to quickly interject. Unfortunately, I just wanted an idea that I had in mind earlier when we talked about ground battles and how that's going to work with the frontline solutions and everything. Hear me out. Imagine big battle on a planet surface, capital ship in the orbit, orbital support. Boom. No, it's probably not going to be in there.
No, because otherwise, why?
So cool.
You're probably going to be having a fight around a structure in order to take it. And if you're using capital ships with rail drivers to fight that kind of battle, you're not going to have anything to take at the end.
Dude, rule of cool. I want to have it. It would be so amazing just to be able to call in orbital strikes from a capital ship in orbit. But all right. Unfortunately, I have to drop out now, lads. So have fun.
Alrighty.
Cheers to chat all the 800 people that are still watching, and have a good night.
Cool, man. Take care. So
here's what I want to know.
Oh, go on.
On a planet, so you're on a planetary surface, and maybe it's a fairly high G world. So I know there's going to be a limit with how many Gs you can survive and go to a base. Odd that even on 9G planets there's still bases with skyscrapers and things. But let's say you're inside the bar, looking out over the vista. And you've got people like Sanderling and Primetime Casual doing speed bowling over the top of the base, like doing something in excess of like 20,000 meters per second. It's like, we gotta see that. I want to see that.
That would be crazy, because there are spots where you could. I mean, imagine if you're standing there, especially when they do the speed bowling, where they go through the pillars on a station, on a ground one. You're standing there looking up. And you see they go, "Swoom," straight past. You're like, yes.
Yeah, I want to see that. I really do.
So I'm going to say, Interastra, the ship store. I love this hologram. I absolutely love the hologram on the way in. I think it looks absolutely awesome. Absolutely amazing. But then next to it, and yes, we are remembering this is pre-alpha and is not fully polished yet, is when you come up and you talk to the NPC, it's really important that you watch his movements when he acknowledges you, and then when you interact with the menu. This is a very kind of important thing to notice, because I've been over this with a fine-tooth comb. But so we've not selected the menu selected, and he's got a slight kind of tick and movement.
Yeah, that's something that we have to look out for in animation programs. It's really hard. So when you go from one animation to another, it has to interpolate between the two, and often that can mean it jolts into position because it makes these spline curves for various things. So it can look really janky. What it's trying to do is smoothly blend between animations, but it's really hard.
Yeah,
really hard to do. One thing I've noticed about all of this, and maybe it's pre-alpha, but I'm finding the textures on all the surfaces and boxes and everything to be quite flat. Like there's not a lot of reflectivity, or it all looks like it's all made out of the same kind of plastic, which I'm not sure. I'm sure it's a pre-alpha thing, but that's bugging me right now. Just putting that.
I say with the animation thing, it's going to depend on where you interrupt him in his normal idle animation. At some points it'll be smoother than others. It's a case of what lead-in they've got on the new animation as to how bumpy it's going to be. There's not really a lot you can do about that, but we'll see.
Well, they've got some great animation. You noted, Plater, that the first person that you see, the lip syncing is quite bad. The second person you see, the lip syncing is spot on. This is a work in progress, so I'm pretty sure that they're showing you things with different levels of polish. Not on purpose. They're not like, look where we started, look where we are. But I'm sure that there's just some assets that they're still polishing to get this working for us.
Yeah,
we'll find out. There's no hiding anything. We'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be analysing it, staring at it a lot. I mean, I'm going to be streaming it and playing it a hell of a lot next week. And for the following 4, 5, 6 weeks, however long the alpha's for, definitely. Someone in chat there mentioned Mediocre saying, I hope you don't need multi-crew seats to deploy people from your ship. Yes, you do. You have to have the seats available for you to be able to deploy people. And that's something that Arthur had confirmed, just kind of talking about it, saying that, yes, you do. You have to have the correct number of seats. Because that's where you sit. You're not in a cargo bay. You're not locked away in the back somewhere in a cupboard. You are sat in the seat.
However, he did also say that if you take a mission from the sad We've Got No Violence guys, I can't remember the name, but like you were in a dropship and you're harnessed in, and he mentioned that. I'm not sure if he should have mentioned that, but that plopped out, so to speak.
Yeah.
But so you would be in a harness there. You would be in a dropship kind of thing, and then you go in. So that makes me wonder about how they want to take this in the future. I mean, obviously, when it comes out, it's going to be the product of the moment, and then they're going to see how it goes. And now they've spent a long time fixing code and sorting things out. Like, this didn't happen in a vacuum. All of this stuff didn't happen in a vacuum. It's taken engine upgrades all through their other games, because bear in mind, everybody, this is using their own engine, the Cobra engine, and all of their other games from like Planet Coaster, Jurassic World, and Planet Zoo, they look incredible. Those games look incredible. And now all that work's been done. Now we're getting this upgrade for Elite Dangerous. So I expect great things, Frontier.
Oh no, why did you say that? Manage your own expectations. Alpha. So important. But at the same time, I hope for great things. I'm prepared for things to not look good. And that's because everything we've seen so far looks like I want to get my hands on it. It makes me feel like I want to go and play it. And I feel I don't know, inspired to play it. It's like it always happens whenever I watch other people play a game on Twitch. I'm like, oh yeah, I fancy that game myself. Can't help it. So,
even if, sorry, pleasure.
I was going to say we should keep moving on and throughout the video. Just was going to say that. Keep us moving along, because we get into the speculation territory. Now there are a couple of people mentioning about the fact that there aren't any ships with 3 seats in Elite, 3 multi-crew seats. Correct. There aren't. Is what I have to say to that.
What's the Corvette got?
You can only have 2. Only have 2 crew. So I'm thinking there has to be a change with multi-crew and wings and the way they work. And there's been some hints that that's going to be refreshed and getting some attention. So I guess we're going to be we're going to be testing it on Monday, aren't we? Well, on Monday.
We are. Well, we won't see
in
that
a bit.
Yeah. We won't see that bit. So does this mean that if they're going to add more seats to the Corvette, that you're going to have another seat behind a massive pillar?
There's always a bad seat, isn't there? Or actually, a good suggestion there is a new ship with 4 seats. Be nuts.
Yeah. What can you see? I can see space and all its glory. What can you see? I can see the desk and all its glory and the things. What can you see? A girder.
So yeah, it's a great view. Right, going on the menus, because we've mentioned menus before. This menu for the shipyard, the Interastra, looks awesome.
This looks very nice. I
like the graphic on the left. It's like the Galnet stories used to have a header like that with each one. So it's in keeping with the whole visual theme that they've already developed.
To me, these menus need to be everywhere.
Can you go back a second? I just thought. Could you go back a little bit? So that you can see the let's just go back a smidge. No, forward a bit. Into the pause a sec. It looks to me like the guy underneath the Cobra is carrying an invisible tray of drinks.
Yeah.
Well, you would say that.
He's got an invisible tray of drinks. I bought you some. Oh no, I forgot the tray. Sorry for that diversion.
I think it's worth pointing out. The thing that I will say is that where we've got purchase ships and there's a ship types available 38, and then it says manage your ships, total ships owned 0. But then on the right hand side, it says your ships. And I feel like that's a bit of it's not super clear, and maybe it should say manage your local ships. Because when they go on and they purchase a ship from this wicked menu where you can view different manufacturers, yes please, I'll have me that.
I also want to know why Vader's fist weighs 501 stone. Sorry.
What?
Ignore him.
Yeah, right.
Vader's fist 501 ST. Look, that's a heavy fist.
And then it changes to this having the manage your ships total owned 1. So yeah, I think it should say manage your local ships. That's my bit of feedback more than anything. But yeah, everything looks really good. Like, it does look. I'm convinced by these menus, and Abina talking about the faces on the NPCs as well, and how they don't look like current portraits in game.
Right, you saw that picture. Sorry, this is not a joke. I'm not making a jokey joke kind of thing. But you saw there was an image. The hangar with all of your ships next to each other. Can we have that, please? So you can see. Here's my warehouse of ships, and I can walk up and choose them. It looks amazing. I'd love that. There's the Beluga, there's the Anaconda, there's the Corvette. And this is just the stuff you've got stored in that station. That would be lovely. Sorry.
Oh, now I'm getting mentioned that apparently that they actually were in a Corvette. So that's how they got to this station. So it was, current ship was the FDev Reliant Corvette, but at their current location. But then manage your ships, it says total end 0. So, I don't know, pre-alpha?
Yeah.
I'm just going to say pre-alpha for that.
Yeah, that's right.
Seems
Bucky
like the thing to
Pixie.
say.
It does indeed say load new ship commander. Nice little Easter egg, that one. A bit.
I never played the first game.
Hello there.
I hate to say that. I'm sorry. People are like, well, you've never played Elite then. It's like, well, I mean, all right. I'll give you that. I've played Elite Dangerous.
You're not my friend.
I was too young to play the original Elite. I didn't get it. Didn't click with me.
Actually, does that only say that for the Cobra? Is that a Cobra exclusive little thing? Let's have a
It probably does. It probably does just say
a quick whiz through. Yeah, it does.
It didn't say it for the 30.
Oh no, it doesn't. It's on the FDL screen as well. It is there.
Is it? Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it should really be just for the 30.
Right. Anyway, we're past that bit. We're heading out. So we go and walking. Let's have a look.
Yeah, I'm liking the new UI. That's looking really nice.
It's a shame we didn't go in the Vista genomics, and I'm saying genomics, although because I don't say
that's what she said.
Yeah.
And I mean that's what she said.
It was what she said.
Yeah, indeed.
When I first saw these terminals, I thought, this is where you reclaim your ship.
Yeah, it's because you're still sitting by.
So started, isn't it? You think, oh yeah.
So it's like, yeah, your ship is in hangar 2. Oh right, let me get the elevator.
Yeah. Oh no, this is the actual.
I will mention though, would you come to these terminals the way they look now? Would you know to go to them?
No, because they look like they've crashed. It looks like they're sitting on like the orange screen of death, waiting for you to reboot them.
Yeah.
Right, that menu.
Like, oh, this malfunction. Oh, now it works. Why isn't it like a spinning logo of the station or the Empire or Federation? It should show you that it's alive.
Something like that.
So yeah, it needs to, or even if it had like some label across the top, or it was top lit. Top lit would do it.
Approach to activate, something to say like approach to activate, like having some things. You know it's going to activate as soon as you get close to it. Da-da! Commander, what do you want to do? Da-da-da, all these things.
Or it might even just, or even if it said, I don't know, like faction contacts. That would be somewhere to go.
And good question. Why is it a command prompt? I mean, are you going to type drop tables account? Or if your name is Johnny Tables, maybe that's a thing you might want to do.
Yeah, they do indeed have 45,000 arcs pro rock. Yep. That's what you would. So this menu here looks very Fleet Carrier kind of inspired, a bit of a lookalike to that, which is good to have some continuity.
Yeah.
So mission types, because I know Scorb, this is something that you cared about.
I do care very much about this, and if they've done it the way that I hope, it would make me super happy, because the old mission system used to, and maybe it's the current one as well, it would hit the server, generate maybe, I don't know, 300 missions, which are all separated out by the factions and the various activities you can do. If right here though, it's showing you there's 42 combat missions, 14, so it just looks like a new way of grouping it.
Yeah.
I want to do salvage and go and generate me a bunch of salvage missions, please. I want to do transportation. I don't want to do combat today. I want to do something else, let it generate them for me based on the activity that I have time for today. I do not have all the time in the world. I've got to filter combat. This is great. Don't get me wrong. This is great that it's like, say, yeah, we've got 42 combat missions for this particular faction. We've got 12 procurement missions for this faction. There's things that they want to do. But I really hope that, like, if I just want to do search and rescue, then let there be missions for me to do that.
Yeah.
That's all I want. That's what I want.
Hello there.
And they will be BGS decided, though. That's something that's worth remembering. So it will be purely down to BGS to what's available. And we haven't actually seen... Have we even seen what state this system's in at the time? Civil unrest. So that's pretty good one for lots of missions. I like the way it's grouped, and those looking at the little portraits at the top, they actually do look a bit better than they do now.
Yeah, agree.
So definitely different looking. Because I like that doing it. It feels a lot less like a list.
Yeah. And it's better in like, you know, when you're going through missions, like if all you want to do is like, I'm interested in doing this particular activity, you generally, I don't even look at who I'm getting missions from, as long as it's like doing the thing that I want to do. So yeah, all right, yeah. And that can be bad for players who like, if you've got a load of people going to a system and they got other people who are caring for the BGS in that system. But at least here you can see which tab you're on, which faction you are representing. It's the one in the middle. It's the one on the left is probably the one who runs the place. You know, they're the ones in charge. So you can say, do the ones for the guys on the left. But if you want to oppose, then you can do any others. It's not just some list where it's like, well, how far am I down? It just feels better to me. This feels better. I don't know how you feel about it.
I mean, I pay attention to who I take missions from in the first place when I do missions, because it's always BGS running. So I probably pay attention to that more than you. By the fact you didn't. So
I am a Muppet, though. Let's be fair.
I didn't want to say anything. But like I say, I mean, targets. So, for example, this mission here that I've got on screen, threat level 0. You go into Astor's Hope in the same system, and you can get paid 195,000 credits for it. Or you can get some aerogel. Madness. It's your engineering material. I think it just seems quite very familiar, very intuitive for what we know.
Yeah.
And that's it, really. It's kind of like, cool, I think we know what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, who doesn't want aerogel?
Is that a link to the galaxy map next to accept mission?
Yeah.
Would you say?
Just like it.
You're trying to click on it, aren't you?
No, I'm moving my mouse around it to point at it. Am I trying to click on it?
No.
Instinctively, yeah, I did. I can't help it. In my head, I'm already playing it. That's what it is. I'm already playing it. It's because I've still got the game sound on in my headphones.
Just accept the mission and let's get on with our lives.
Yeah, right. Look, I'm just going to play it now. How about that? Turns out, actually, this isn't a video. This is my playthrough that we're looking at. You say, wait, what? No, I don't think we need to reinforce any rumours that anyone has had access to Odyssey, because they haven't. Full clarity. No one has had early access to try it out.
Yeah. And like Arthur was saying as well, they don't know what time they're going to release the alpha because they are still working on it. It might be the afternoon. It's not going to be the morning. It might be late in the afternoon. We don't know. As long as it gets done, it could be Tuesday. We don't know. If they find a massive show-stopping bug that if they released it, it's going to do tons of damage and destroy people's expectations, they could, not that they will, but they could delay. What they're saying is that they want to get it out at least by the afternoon.
Always with the negative waves, Moriarty.
So, moving on.
Nobody watched Kelly's Heroes.
No, wait, straight over my head. Like, I'm thinking. So what I'm thinking, I think it's going to be late Monday afternoon when the game's going to be available. Unfortunately, I have a CT scan that I have to go to for 5 p.m. in a different town. So, if I can, I'm gonna be streaming it immediately. If I can't, I'll have to wait till I get home. So it's a shame. But we'll definitely have it out there.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people streaming it. So, but like, hopefully you'll back.
Jane got it. What were you two?
Hello there.
I will point out the Tree Grubs advertising.
Oh, Lavian Tree Grubs. Brilliant. Yeah.
All very interesting. So yeah, that's the thing. Now the lifts, right? Now there's lift music, which I actually really like because it's short. It's a short little move. So because it's not this long dragging. Because could you imagine getting stuck if the lift is basically another blue tunnel, for example, can you imagine getting stuck with lift music? You'd be like, no,
drooling in the corner.
be
Or can you
awful.
imagine being in the elevator and it's actually a loading screen and you've just got to listen to banter with your NPC crewmates?
Well, just
Well, Roberto.
now going it. Okay, so when you come down to the hangar, this is you step out and there's a lighting change, and quite a sudden lighting change. Now I don't know where that light source is, and so it goes bink,
Hello there.
and then it goes dark again when you come down the stairs. I don't know if that's this is some kind of I don't even know what you call it. And there, and again there, it just went bink, came on light.
That's probably a light
Hello
probe.
there.
There's an errant light probe in there which has got the wrong lighting information. Right, pause for a second, please. I need to have a conversation. I need to
paused.
talk about this.
Is it talk about? Are you talking about the blue circle?
Yes, and I'm sorry to be negative, and I know this is pre-alpha, and please, Frontier, listen. Just make an elevator come down. Let me go in. Just like fighters have their fighter thingy, right? They go into it. SRVs get pulled into the bay. You can see it happen. You can follow it up. We are people. What are we doing? Are we beaming in? Are we? Oh, this is No Man's Sky level unrealism. And I'm sorry, but I really hope they heed this. I know what Arthur was saying. If you have to run from the back of the ship to the front of the ship every single time, I actually quite like that, to be honest. But I get what he's saying. The first 10 times it'll be fun. After that's going to get annoying. I get it. But this bit, please, elevator come down, stand on it, you go up. Ladder, anything. Tractor beam, I don't care. Something.
It is alpha. I mean, at the moment, whatever mechanism they use to get into the ship is not going to affect the gameplay that they want to test. So from a testing point of view, it's irrelevant what happens here. We can keep nudging them and poking them in the future, and eventually, once things have settled down and the game's out and everything's, they can say, all right, we'll put a bit of animation in if people want it. It's optional. And we'll say,
we don't know. We don't know if getting out will be the same.
It will be. They said it's the fade to black transition. It's hit a menu, and then you'll be on the floor after a quick fade to black. And I agree with Score. It is something that everyone pretty much unanimously has said that just the fade to black isn't the right thing to do. Now, there's obviously going to be people that won't agree.
Fade to black,
and that's cool.
As you're going up, that's fine.
Yeah.
But show some connection between you and the ship. It's really important. The ladder comes down, or the elevator comes down, or something comes down, you get on, and then there's a stock animation, not stock, but you know what I mean, a canned animation of you ascending. It doesn't even need to do anything, it's just connect me to my ship. A blue circle it's just a light. It's too gamey. It's too gamey for me. I don't know what they're saying. I do understand.
And the thing is, I totally agree with Arthur when he's talking about the running back and forth of the ship a million times. Because to me, that's crap. That is not gameplay. That's not content in a game at all. And it would get very old very, very quickly. If you're doing it multiple times in a day, you're bored of it by the time you've done it. Yeah, okay, each ship maybe it'd be a bit different. But who flies every single ship every single day? And Angry Mosquito in chat, no, you cannot walk around the cockpit. There is no ship interiors at launch. And they do say at launch, which normally means it is a consideration that might come later, but we don't know. Currently, it is not planned.
Yeah. With the way that they've been refactoring things and sorting out, like redoing the code and everything, I really do hope that that they've built it with that in mind, that they could, if it's something that was worth it. It's like, I don't need to walk up to the chair. I know other games do it. This isn't trying to be those games. I do get that. But connect me to the ship a little bit better than just walk up to a circle and fade to black. And I'll be super, super happy. I'll be super happy. I'd love... like, people who know me know that I'd love to be able to walk around the inside of the ship. Because I want to film it. I want to tell stories. But
I've had this conversation with you before, haven't I? That
yes,
your use case is quite individual and quite specific.
Kind of niche.
And also, if the game doesn't do it, but you want to do it in the game, then the issue isn't necessarily the game.
Look,
Yeah,
fine,
but as I said,
but I
you've
want
got
to
so much trouble with the members cockpit that you
Mm-hmm.
can't see unless you're in VR and you reset it and have a look. So I mean, it's there. It's not like they haven't thought about people walking around their ships. It is their ultimate goal. You can tell, otherwise they wouldn't have put all of that in the members cockpit. It would be completely redundant. So it is there. It's on their to-do list. But when? We don't know.
Well, we don't know that. We can speculate with some. We can infer with some heavy evidence.
We
But
can
what
infer.
can't do-
Yes.
We can't say it's on there to do. We have no idea. We can infer that though, but that's all we can do. And it would be super nice. I'd love to do that, but right now, 'cause we have to go in a second, Mr. Pete. But I'd like to just give a closing statement for myself, if I may. And then it's
Yeah, all right.
No, you may not.
You know, I'll let you. I'll allow it. Yeah.
Floyd's consent.
Okay. So from what I've seen from the video so far, from the stream today as well, is I'm very impressed with what they've done, and I can see even from this small slice, we've seen 2 slices of gameplay now. We've seen the the assaulting the base, and now we've seen walking around inside the thing. It's imperfect, but I can definitely see the work that's gone into it. And we get this opportunity now over the next week to help out a company who make a game that we love. And whether people are on board with that or not, that's up to them. That's entirely up to them. But like they say, there's going to be bugs. Expect them, report them, and let Frontier know, and then they can fix it. That's what they want us to do. We are their community. If we don't report bugs, we can't complain when it goes live if it's all broken. So I will implore everybody watching, if you've got access to it, record your bugs. Record video. Write down steps to reproduce. Repeat it if you can. And then fill in that form. See if anyone else has filled in the same bug. And if they have, add your experiences as well. Because it's like, this also happens to me. Then the devs know this is a big problem. We need to fix this. Or it might be a new thing that only you have found. So be the first. Write it down, but put it in detail so somebody who isn't you can go through it and say, yeah, oh yeah, oh my god, that's really bad. Yeah, let's fix that. Then the bugs will get fixed. That's our job. That's our job. So I will end by saying I was really impressed. Thank you, Commander Plater, for inviting me on here.
Well, thank you for coming along. I appreciate it.
If you're not already following, you're doing on YouTube as well, aren't you?
Yep.
Press like and subscribe.
Yeah,
it's free.
It won't hurt you unless you slip whilst you're doing it. I'm not responsible for that.
I'll just
Damn,
add.
I broke my finger pressing it so hard.
I'll just add a quick point to end on Skull's point as well. Do also on the forums or whatever, Frontier, do point out things that you like in the alpha, because I mean, as developers, they'll get a lot of people reporting bugs and this doesn't work, that doesn't work, and it can be a bit disheartening sometimes if that's all you're seeing, negative stuff. It's constructive negative, but it's disheartening. So if there's something in there that you really like and think is awesome, tell them somewhere. Put it on Twitter or put it on the forums or whatever. Just say to them, this is awesome, we love it, because that way they'll feel a little bit better about what they're doing, you know.
Yeah, they're a small
they need
company-ish, and
they
they're
are
all human.
Yeah.
Hello there.
And they're all working from home. It's hard.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've got to
Right.
get.
So,
Well, thank you, gents.
see you next time.
All right, take care, buds.
Bye bye.
Hello there.
See you.
Where's the button?
Oh God.
Hang on, I got it. Yeah, there we go. Bye.
Oh dear. Scorb and Turgeon, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic. So, I am going to switch over to this camera. Here, this mode. And I am going to call time for the stream there myself as well. I am going to say, once again, thank you very much for watching. It's been appreciated, everyone who's came in. You guys that raided and stuck around. Hey, how you doing? Nice to meet some new people. Same time, if you're watching on YouTube, please make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe. Guys on Twitch, consider subscribing to my YouTube channel too, because there'll be plenty of coverage coming. Same, I've got my full-on breakdown in there as well of the trailer we watched, being a little bit more critical, in depth, and grimy with it all, and completely unbiased. Yeah. Also, damn, this beard, right? I had no idea it got to this level of beardness. I'm like, wow. But right.
Hello there.
Also, yeah, that's a good point, Pyrock. In 45 minutes, there's some new stuff coming out where we look at the is it the what was it? The something? Looking at something? So keep an eye out for that. It's gonna be pretty cool. But right, guys on Twitch, we're gonna raid someone else. We're gonna pay it forward. We'll see who we've got at the moment. Who shall we pick? Actually, you know who we're gonna go for? I think.
Hello there.
Have a quick look. We'll pick someone that we know and like. We're going to go for Bognogus. Bognogus is one of the nicest streamers around. He's streaming Elite. He's had quite a bit of time off from streaming Elite, and it is well overdue for him to be back in the game. He's a lovely guy. A lovely guy. Like, I want to be friends with him.
Hello there.
In a super weird way. He's a lovely guy, so we'll get that going. But everyone else, I'm going to say once again, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you all very soon. Monday. I'll see you Monday, basically. Once again, thank you for watching. Commander Plater, out.